Hi friends, welcome to today's video. Thanks for joining me. It's early in the morning, bright and early. I've got my coffee in hand. We've got some things to talk about. I ordered some new products. Ulta recently did their 21 Days of Beauty. Of course, I shopped the sale. There were certain days that were certain items that I wanted to try, things I've had my eye on for some time. So I've gotten some things already in the mail, so we're going to play with some of those. And I'm looking at them right now and I cannot wait. Basically, we've got a bunch of stuff to play with, to talk about. I'm going to show you what I ordered during the 21 Days of Beauty. I'm going to get myself ready. I've got my coffee, like I said. I am ready to tackle this video, tackle the day. So take out your makeup goodies and let's get ready together. Just a side note on coffee, since we're talking about getting ready and having coffee on hand. I drink coffee every single morning. It's like something I cannot start my day without. And I recently purchased the K-Cups from the Costco Kirkland's brand. I think it's called Pacific Bold. I'll put it down in the description box what it's called, but it's actually really good. I normally drink Pete's Major Dickinson's roast, which is a pretty dark roast, and I add a little bit of creamer. Usually my creamer is dairy-free, and so I add that to it, and actually this one from Costco is pretty good. So if you like a bold coffee and you shop at Costco in bulk, check out their K-Cups and their Pacific Bold because it's actually good. To kick this video off, I'm going to start with my complexion and use a newish primer. The Milani Blur Out Smoothing Primer. I've done a video solely dedicated on this. I have not stopped using this. I find myself reaching for it a lot. I used this in the video with the Milani Conceal and Perfect Foundation, and this was actually a beautiful combination. I have done these two together several times since posting that video. So what I want to do today is use this primer with another good foundation from the drugstore. It's the Revlon Colorstay foundation. This one is the version for combo to oily skin. The shade that I have is 150. So we'll see how this foundation plays with this primer. This little spatula is so nifty to gather the product out and keep your fingers from having to re-dip into the product itself. So it keeps it more sanitary for a longer period of time. I did a demo on this, so if you haven't seen it, I will link it in the cards. Check it out. It's actually a very good smoothing, very blurring, makes the skin feel really soft, and so far every foundation that I've paired with this has gone on over it beautifully. You can kind of see hopefully there how much I've used. I keep dipping in the very center and I've used a pretty big chunk of this. I really do like this. I think they did a great job with this primer. They also did come out with some new liquid blushes that are very luminous and glowy. I've done a video on those as well. That video has already been posted. Check that out. They've come out with some new things, and I basically have reviewed everything so far from Milani. Of course, we'll see some more drugstore stuff as we get closer to holiday, which I can't even believe it's already holiday, right? I recently decorated the fireplace with flameless candles and these really beautiful pumpkins that I ordered from Sam's Club, and they're absolutely beautiful. If they're still in stock, I will see if I can link them down below, but they're just so pretty, and it's kind of starting to change the weather outside, so we're definitely in those fall kind of vibes, the fall feels. I'm going in with my Real Techniques sponge, and I'm just pressing and pushing the Colorstay foundation from Revlon right over the primer. Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty event was very recent. Did you shop the sale? I picked up a couple of things that I have had my eye on, and as I'm filming this video, I still have, I think there's 2 items that are still on its way. I should get them soon in a few days, which I'm excited to try them and finally see what the hype is behind these products, and maybe I'll show them in a video and use them and give you my thoughts after I try it and see how that goes. But I'm really excited, and I feel like they had some good things this time around, and I like how they were able to share everything on sale ahead of time so people could plan what they wanted to purchase and just kind of see ahead of time what's part of the sale. I'm going to go in with some concealer next. This is the Complexion Crush Concealer from the Ulta Beauty Collection. And the shade that I have is Light Cool. Has a little bit of a pinky kind of tone to it. I'm going to go back into that Real Techniques sponge and blend this out. I'm not sure if the video that I did on the Ulta Beauty Collection is already posted. If it is, I will obviously link it for you. But I did purchase some products to do a one brand on this brand. So you may have already seen it if it's posted, but I really do enjoy this concealer. It's actually a good one. I'm going to set my under eye with the Fit Me loose powder from Maybelline. I wanted a loose powder because I want to try a new powder puff. These are from the Ulta Beauty collection. It's a set of 3. You get 2 light pink ones and then this kind of salmony pink shade. I love using these types of puff sponges to add loose powder over my concealer to do the baking technique. So I think I'm going to go for this color today. This is such a pretty color. And these inexpensive, they do a great job at blending and applying powder. So you just kind of work it palm of your hand and then you just press and it's kind of setting the concealer and it gives a nice sort of airbrushed look, especially this powder. I also like using the Huda Beauty loose powder. I think the dryness that I'm experiencing is from my retinaldehyde cream serum. I bumped it up to, last night was my 3rd consecutive night. I've been doing it every other day and just kind of letting my skin adjust to it. So I think that's what's causing the dryness a little bit. So it's very minor, so I shouldn't really complain because it's not as bad as when I did Retin-A 6 years ago where my skin was peeling and it was just a mess. But anyways, back to the makeup. This sponge is doing a great job at applying the powder. Yay, love these. I'm going to do a little bit of cream bronzer and, you know, I can't stop using this one. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss Bronzer. I've talked about this before. This is just a really good performing cream bronzer. It blends beautifully, seamlessly over every single foundation that I've ever put underneath it. Even if I set my face with translucent powder, a face powder, it never looks bad, never patchy, never pulls and disrupts what's underneath. It's just such a good, solid formula. Next up is blush, and this is where my new items from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty come into play. This is where I'm having a little bit of difficulty deciding what I'm going to do. I bought 2 of the Tarte Man Eater liquid blushes. I feel like blush is having a moment. They're coming out left and right. It's a new launch. Every brand seems like is coming out with a blush. I've had my eye on these for a very long time. I have not purchased these for a couple of reasons. One, my blush drawer is overflowing and I really don't need more blush, but I honestly really can't help myself. And 2, this formula has a bit of a luminous glow to it. It's called the Blush and Glow, which is typically not a formula finish that I personally like. I like a satin finish or a matte. I don't like a lot of blushes with a lot of shimmer. The shimmer varies from brand to brand, so it's one of those where I play it safe. I don't go anything beyond satin. So that's why I didn't pick these up. But I've, been dabbling into the glowy blushes lately, and I thought, why not? It's half off. As I was looking at the Man Eater blushes, they have a satin formula, which I didn't even realize. And I also like the way the cap is designed. I like the animal print. I love animal print pants, shirts. I've got several things like that, and I love it. I picked up the shade Buff in the original formula, the Blush and Glow, and the shade Pink in the Satin Blush formula. I also picked up a blush stick from the ABH line, the shade Latte. This looks to be like a really nice everyday type of shade with a little hint of color without being too over the top. And I hope that the formula is easy to work with and blend. So the dilemma that I'm having is, where do I start? Do I do them all? I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to start with the Latte blush stick, and let's just directly apply this like so. See, that's a really pretty shade. It looks light, like almost nothing in the actual component, but when you swatch it and apply it, there is a beautiful kind of soft, natural, rosy tint that comes from this. And I'm going to use my e.l.f. Duo Complexion Brush. Same one I used for the bronzer, and I'm going to pat this out. Ooh, that blended in pretty easy. Wow. Okay, that's pretty. Easy to use, easy to blend, adds just a soft hint of color. They do have several shades in this line. I just only ordered one since I'm not familiar with the formula. And now I feel like I probably should have just ordered all the shades I wanted, and I would have had some really great stick blushes. I guess maybe next time. So this is the ABH Latte Stick Blush. Super pretty, and that blended out with ease, no problems at all. And I didn't feel like it was pulling or tugging either since I went directly on to my skin. I think next time I'll probably just swipe my brush across it and apply it that way. I think that's a really nice formula. It feels a little bit creamy, but it's not greasy, it's not oily or emollient where it's going to slip around. I don't feel like it needs to be set. But you know what? Why don't we just layer the buff shade over the top? I feel like this shade would kind of add a bit of glow. And we'll do just a minimal amount because I can't help myself. Honestly, I can't. I want it all on my face. I've got that worked into the brush, and I'm just going to stipple this on the higher points because this does have a bit of a sheen to it. So I don't want to go too crazy and bring it too close to my nose, but that's going to add just a hint of glow. Do you see that? Look how pretty that looks. And I may just skip highlighter altogether today. And whatever's left on my brush, I'm going to go across the nose, maybe just a little bit over the forehead, just to bring in a little bit more kind of warmth and color to the forehead area. And I think this is going to be my blush combo for today. What do you think? I like it. I really do. I want to add a little bit of powder bronzer. So I pulled from my drawer the Revlon Skin Lights. This is the shade Sunkissed Beam 115. Looks like that. It's a really nice formula. I'm going to use my Ulta Beauty brush. And just add a little bit of this to kind of warm up my complexion just a little bit more. I actually like this formula. I feel like it's a really easy to use. It adds a subtle kind of glow. It's not too intense and radiant. Just gives a bit of warmth, just ever so slight, like a hint of a sheen. Not overly shimmery. I haven't quite decided what I want to use for eyeshadow today. I've got a couple things on my vanity that I wanted to use. I have honestly, this is what I've been doing a lot. The Armani eye tints. I have loved these so much. I've talked about these before in previous videos. These two together, shade number 9 and then 22M, I feel like give me the perfect eye look. I actually was wearing this in a previous video and it was just too easy to use. So I kind of want to give this a break for today and use maybe a palette. I've got 2 on my vanity that I want to use that I absolutely adore. The original OG Naked palette came back several weeks back. I saw this teased on social media when it was available for Ulta. I literally ran for it, okay? I had the original when it first came out many years ago, and this was great then. It's great now, so this is something that I want to use again and show some more love to. The other palette in my hand is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. This I have loved since I bought it. This came out, I believe it was last fall, if memory serves me right. This is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. I have worn this so much. I love the color story, and I recently ordered one of her new palettes that just recently launched. And I probably already have it by the time this video goes up, and I didn't even see that coming. I don't think anybody did. She just launched it out of nowhere. And I snagged it because I love her formula. So this is definitely a little bit more high end. It's $69 for these palettes from Natasha Denona, but they are 1,000% worth every single penny. I'm going to start the look off with the shade called Mesh from the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. So it is the shade that's a little bit cooler in the bottom row. It looks like this. I'm going to use a big fluffy brush. This one is from Morphe and Ariel. It comes in a brush set. It's the A11. I'm going to go back and forth just to add a little bit of shape and dimension to my eye. I want to add a little bit of stone, which is in the top row, and it's a little bit darker. So this is what I've got right now in the crease. I'm going to go a couple shades darker in the same kind of similar color story with it being a bit cooler and a little bit more gray. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that with the same brush and go right over Mesh. With the shade Fair from the Natasha Denona palette, it's in the second row. I'm going to use that to clean around this border of the crease. I'm going to move down to the lower lashes. I'm going to leave my crease as is for now. I'm going to take the shade Tender, which is the deepest of the gray tones in the I Need a Nude, which looks like this. And I'm going to run that really close to the root of my lash from the outer corner, placing the Mohs product out here and then tapering it lightly as I move towards the inner corner. One thing I like to do with this Natasha Denona palette is incorporate those kind of peachy tones. There's 2 different shades, Vague and Wit. I like to take the deeper of the 2, so this one here called Vague. And I'm going to use a small brush, the A504 from BK Beauty and Angie Hot and Flashy. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of that and run that right underneath the tender. I just really like doing this every time I use the gray smoky shades on the lower lashes. There's something about it, and I like how she incorporated just a little hint of warmth in this kind of more cool tone color story. Love these two together. With a Sigma E57 eyeshadow brush, I'm going to take that tender shade, which is the deepest one that I use on my lower lashes, and I'm going to pat this right on this outer V area. I'm going to start by just tapping to place the color. And then with the edge of the brush, I'm going to kind of rock it back and forth in my actual crease a little bit. I'm not bringing it up too high, just right in here. And then I'm going to go back to that A504 brush that I use for the lower lashes, and I'm going to blend that edge just a little bit with no additional product. For the lids, I think I'm going to hop over to the Naked palette from Urban Decay, and I want to use the shade called Sin, which is like a shimmery, icy pink shade. The Natasha Denona has a few options for the lid if you wanted to use them, but they do offer a lot more color and more smokiness. So these shades here, these two at the bottom are the lightest ones, but they're more like toppers. This one, Mesh, is kind of similar in tone of the Sin from Urban Decay with that kind of like a little bit of pink to it, but this is, like I said, it's a topper, so I want a little bit of color instead of just sparkle. So I'm going to use the Sin instead, which is this shade here. And I'm going to just use my finger and pick up some of that. And I'm going to press that right onto my lid. I'm also going to use that same Sin color from Urban Decay with a Refer number 3 brush as my inner corner highlight. And also just a little bit through the brow bone. I'm going to finish the eyes with a very thin liner. I'm going to use some gel liner. This is the Bobbi Brown in the shade Black Ink with a Wing It brush from e.l.f. And then my mascara is going to be the L'Oreal Telescopic. Let's move on to lip products. I did purchase quite a few things from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. I bought the Persona lip liners, the Day Mask in Bubble. I also picked up a lipstick from MAC. Those were also on sale 50% off. But I also ended up ordering the Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balms. They have a new summer collection. I ordered one shade in Watermelon. I absolutely adore this formula. I have so many of them, and I highly recommend that you try them out. I'm going to link them for you down below. I want to use this, even though this is a little bit more on the warmer side, with this kind of cool tone eye. I don't know, but I think I'm going to start with the Persona lip liner. This is the shade called Dusk. I also did fill in just a little bit with the lip liner because the lipstick shade that I bought from MAC is the shade called Honey Love, and I think this is just a little too warm to go with this more pinky, slightly more cool tone lip, and I think it also doesn't go with the cool tone eye, so we're going to use this in a different video. But I like the classic MAC, you can't go wrong with their lipsticks. This is the new Maximal Matte formula, so I'm kind of interested to see if this is going to be comfortable, so that's why I only picked one shade, and I tried to go with something that was kind of nude, that I could use every day, so we'll play with this in a different video. But I gotta try this watermelon shade out. This lip balm from Naturium looks beautiful paired with this Dusk lip liner from Persona. I love the look, the color, the feel, the shine. I adore this formula so much. These are my favorite ones. I have several. Hibiscus, just a quick rundown, is a sheer hot pink, adds a beautiful pop of color to the lips. Camellia is a nice cool tone pink shade. Petal is a nice soft everyday pink. And Goji is a pretty poppy shade that adds a little bit of a coral kind of tint to your lips or over a lip liner, a lipstick. I feel like these are the perfect pairing. They add a hint of color without being over the top. And the formula feels so luxurious. They're $10. I mean, come on. You need some of these. And that's the completed look. I had so much fun playing with my new products today and sharing with you what I purchased during the 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta. just sharing with you some new products that I've been playing with besides the ones that I ordered for the sale. I have so much new stuff, so you'll see this again. We'll do this again in another video, playing with some new things. Subscribe so you don't miss out when those videos get posted. I also share on Instagram when I post videos, which is every Tuesday and every Friday. So the username for my Instagram account is here on the screen. The info box below is going to have everything listed and linked for you down below. Thanks for being here, for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you very soon in my next video. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.